If you are thinking about picking one up, I just want to walk you through my experience, because this chair is the kind of thing that sounds great on a product page, and then real life decides whether it actually fits your room and your body. What it is, in plain terms, is a single-seat power recliner made for movie nights. It is for someone who wants one chair that handles the basics without needing extra tables, extra chargers, or a pile of remotes on the couch. I use it in a small media room where I sit for long movies, sports, and sometimes a couple of hours of work on a laptop. That mix matters, because a chair can feel fine for 15 minutes and then get annoying after an hour. The reason I even paid attention to this model is that it focuses on a few things I actually use every day. It has power recline, a powered headrest, lights around the cup holders and along the base, charging right on the chair, storage in the arm, and a tray that plugs into the arm. None of that is new technology, but the question is whether it is done in a way that feels normal to live with instead of feeling like a bunch of gadgets glued onto a recliner. Visually, it is modern without trying too hard. The shape is blocky and clean, and the diamond stitching is noticeable when light hits it, but it does not scream for attention. In my room, it does not clash with other furniture, and it does not look like a big overstuffed living room recliner. The leather is the first thing I noticed when I sat down. It feels like real leather, not that slick plastic feel you get with some faux leather chairs. It is smooth, it has a little give, and it does not feel sticky when you have been sitting for a while. I am not gentle with it either. I eat in the chair, I rest my arm on the same spots every day, and it has been easy to wipe clean without the surface feeling like it is getting weird or shiny. The build feels solid in the ways that matter when you actually use it. When I shift my weight, the chair does not creak a lot. The armrests do not feel hollow. The cup holders do not wobble. The seat itself feels firm when it is new. The first couple of nights, I honestly wondered if I made a mistake because I expected more sink. After a couple of weeks of regular use, it softened a bit, but it stayed supportive. For me, that ended up being a good thing because long sessions do not turn into that saggy, mushy feeling. If you want a chair that feels like a soft pillow from the first sit, this is not that. The power recline is quiet enough that it does not pull me out of what I am watching. The important part is the wall hugger track. In normal terms, the chair slides forward as it reclines, so you can place it close to a wall and still recline without smashing the back into anything. In my room, that is the difference between having a walkway behind the chair or having the chair sit awkwardly in the middle of the space. I keep it roughly 6 inches from the wall and it works. The powered headrest is not a gimmick for me. It is the feature I use the most besides the recline itself. When you recline, your head naturally wants to tilt back, and then you end up watching the screen with your chin up, which gets old fast. With the headrest motor, I can recline my body and still tilt my head forward so I am looking at the screen normally. I use this even when I am not fully reclined. If I am sitting upright and my neck feels a little forward, I bump the headrest and it fixes it. One thing I want to be clear about, because there is confusion online. Some listings talk about adjustable lumbar support. The chair I have does not have powered lumbar support. The back has a fixed shape. Whether that shape fits you is a personal thing. For my back, it is mostly fine, but it is not the same as pressing a button and getting more support in the exact spot you want. If you already know you need strong lower back support, that is the missing feature here, and I do not want anyone to assume it is included. The controls are simple, and that matters because you use them in the dark. I can find the buttons by feel. There are buttons for recline, buttons for the headrest, and a home button that brings everything back upright. The charging port on the control panel is genuinely useful. I plug my phone in during movies, and I do not have a cable running across the floor. If you use a tablet or you charge more than one device, you may still want a power strip nearby, but for normal phone charging, it covers what I need. The lights are brighter than I expected the first time I turned them on. The cup holder lights make it easy to find your drink in a dark room, and the base lighting gives you a little glow on the floor so you do not trip. I do not always want lights during a movie, so I appreciate that I can shut them off easily. I tend to leave the base lighting on low when I have people over, then turn everything off when I want the room dark. The hidden arm storage is deeper than it looks. I keep 2 remotes, a controller, and a small charger in there. If you have headphones, they fit too. The point is not that it holds a lot, it is that it keeps the clutter off the seat and off the side table. The swivel tray is one of those accessories I thought I would ignore, but I actually use it. It locks into the port next to the cup holder. It is stable enough for a bowl of snacks. I have also used it for a small laptop, and it is fine for light work, but I would not lean hard on it like a desk. Setup was straightforward. The chair comes in 2 main pieces, and it is heavy enough that I would not move it alone. I needed a second person to help get it into the room. Assembly is basically sliding the back onto the rails until it clicks, connecting a cable for the headrest and plugging in the power. I did not need tools. The hardest part was just handling the weight and the box. In daily use, the chair does what I wanted. I sit down, I hit recline, I bump the headrest until the screen feels right, and I do not think about it again. The motors have been consistent, and nothing has started drifting or getting noisy over time. The seat staying on the firmer side helps with long movies. I did a couple of marathon sessions, one night with a 3-hour movie and another with back-to-back episodes, and I did not get that low back fatigue I get on softer couches. That said, body shape matters. If you are taller, you may need to recline a bit just to get the headrest to land right. If you are shorter, you may find yourself using the headrest even when upright to keep your neck comfortable. This is the kind of chair where you spend a few days learning your favorite position. It is also wired for a bass shaker accessory, basically a vibration transducer that responds to low-frequency sound so you feel rumbles through the chair. I tested it briefly with a separate amplifier, and when it is set up correctly, it adds a fun physical layer for action movies. I have also seen people mention rattles when it is turned up too high. In my case, any noise I heard came down to something not tightened or a cable tapping the frame. Once I secured things, it was fine. If you plan to use that feature, expect a little tinkering so it stays quiet. My main complaints are pretty practical. The seat firmness at the beginning can throw people off. I adjusted to it, but it is not instantly plush. The other issue is that without powered lumbar support, you cannot fine-tune the lower back feel. If the built-in contour fits you, great. If it does not, you may end up adding a small pillow, which is not the end of the world, but it is something I wish I did not have to consider on a chair like this. Overall, it has worked well for the way I actually watch movies. It saves space because of the wall hugger motion. It keeps my phone charged. It keeps the room usable in the dark with the lights. The storage keeps my stuff from floating around the room. The headrest motor is the difference between reclining and still watching comfortably, or reclining and constantly adjusting my neck. If you want a home theater recliner that feels supportive, has practical extras you will actually use, and does not take over the look of the room, I have had a good experience with it. If you know you need powered lumbar support or you only like very soft seats, I would think twice or try to sit in one before committing. If you have questions about fit, room spacing, or anything I did not cover, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more real-world reviews. Thank you for watching.